Hey everybody, welcome back to the next episode. I got the Dr. Dre song stuck in my head now. The next episode of Romantasy Roundtable, A Tale of Rick and Roses. I'm joined by my roses.
Amanda.
And Kim.
Wow, Kim, you sound exactly how you did last episode. Why is that?
Because I'm sick.
So you're still sick? It's been like a week?
It's been 90 seconds.
Yeah, so spoiler alert, if you listen to the last episode, we actually had finished the whole book. We didn't get a chance to record it, so we recorded it without any spoilers for these chapters.
I would like to say, though, I made 2 predictions in the last book, or in the last episode, and both of those are predictions that I made and wrote down when I was reading those chapters. So,
I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. I did think about calling you out as you said them.
those are predictions I made. I've been saying those things.
Yeah, so I don't know we haven't finished the book before, but I kind of want to just jump all over the place. Should we follow the chapters, right? That's what we've been doing.
I don't care.
Wow. She has a meeting in 30 minutes, so we just have to go. All right. So last we left our heroes, we had happen, right? And now it is the aftermath. It's literally the aftermath, I guess, right? Like they're looking at the room and they're like, what did we do? And they have some discussions about its complicated relationship, and Zaden is like, I can't let you in, I don't want to tell you all the things, and she's like, but I still love you, I need you.
I don't think she tells him she loves him yet.
Well, in her head she does, or she's feeling, she didn't say those words, but the way she's talking, I knew she did. There's a hushed crowd here.
She said that she had fallen for him, and then that he needed to admit that he also had feelings for her and was falling for her. And so that's what the back and forth was. I will say, Rick said in our last episode about the last set of chapters that we read that he found them kind of boring. I actually hate this, like, lovey-dovey back and forth shit that they do in these couple of chapters. I just find it to be silly. And so I did not enjoy them.
Yeah, that's fair. I didn't really take many notes on this. All I wrote was not a relationship on his terms. And I do appreciate that, because I feel like he was like, don't fall for me. This can only be this. And she was like, you don't get to define
Gravity.
what this is. Define.
Gravity.
And I appreciate that. The only other things that I wrote for this section are king with an exclamation point.
Yeah, there's a king. King popped up.
And I might die today.
Who?
She says
she
that.
She does say that.
But we're not there yet.
Yeah, we got a king pop up. They're at a party. They're at the celebration of, I guess it's the death of the generals.
Yeah, they're at the celebration of dancing.
Who are we looking at? What student is it?
It's Noah.
Dancing. Dancing?
Yeah, so they're at some big party, and they're celebrating the death of the
Yeah, they're celebrating
traitors.
the death of the traitors, the rebellion, who Rick has long said are the good guys.
100%. They're always the good guys. And then the king wants to keep. I wasn't sure about what was. The king specifically said, I have to keep checking in on Zaden.
Yeah, and her mom is here, and I've been saying this, her mom sucks.
Oh, her mom is the worst.
God, she sucks.
Terrible.
I mean, to give credit to her mom.
No.
No, what are you doing?
Go ahead.
She does say in the first chapter, when she's talking about Violet entering the actual war college, that she says, I'm not going to be able to be your mother for the next 3 years. I'm not going to be able to acknowledge you. I'm not going to be able to talk to you, period. So this is just true to form. I mean, she prefaced that this was going to be a thing.
Yeah, but she also forced her into the Riders Quadrant, and she also I don't know, I just feel like she's undermined her a couple times in a way that I think is really yucky.
But one additional thing here. So this actually happened when Violet and Zaden were still in the room before the party happened. And the Book of Fables that we had referenced in a couple episodes ago that had been her childhood favorite that her dad had read to her. She now has back, because Mira gave it back to her when they saw each other. Yeah, Mira at the outpost. And turns out that her dad actually left a note for her in the book and said that he knew that she was going to make the right choice at the right time. And And spoiler for getting towards the end of this book, I think she does that. And I wonder if maybe her mom had a part of that, or knew more than we think.
Of course her mom did. Did her mom kill her dad?
Whoa, I hadn't thought about that.
Or would she have been able to make the right choice if she had been a scribe?
Interesting. I'm not sure.
So, all right. So they're at the party, and Violet can't find Zaden, and she tells everybody, like, where the hell is Zaden? And then she finds him at the parapet, right? Just sitting alone, sulking because he's a shadow daddy. They have a little conversation for a bit, and they finally, embrace. And then she's like, take me to your room now. And, round 2, and 3, and 4, and 5. They go at it for a while.
They break more stuff.
Guys, I actually, I screenshotted this as I read it yesterday. When she was like, maybe we'll go for 3. And then the next line is, we went for 5. And
right.
I was like, I don't think that's the way the human body works. Like, 5 times in a certain number of hours
girl,
is
are you tired?
No.
Like, I don't know. That just seems, she is like 20, right?
Yeah, she's like 20 something.
I don't know. That sounds exhausting. So they're together, they're wrecking his room, and they are alarms sound, and they are mobilized for what turns out to be,
War Games Part 2.
War Games, but also it's not, but it is.
Right.
And they, the wing leaders have to decide where they're going, and Violet is like supposed to go with Dane, and she's supposed to go with Zaden, and she's like, I don't know what to do, but then she decides to go with Zaden, and Dane is being a little bitch about it.
Yeah, but you know what? Dane is being a bitch, and I'm not. No, he's a bitch. Hate him. But then he says something that I did catch, and I'm like, that's weird. And he says, goodbye, Violet. I'll miss you. And I'm like, I don't know. The way he said it is giving me feelings.
Right. Well, and spoilers for, the next couple chapters, Dane did betray her.
As any little bitch would.
Yeah. So Zane's signet is that he can, see people's memories. And so he, stole Violet's memories without her knowledge, and sets up the, rebel-marked little battalion, and they are sent to this place outside of the wards for not war games, but essentially to be massacred.
Right. Yeah. So they get there. Right. That's where they think their next. I don't know the right word. Their next quest, their next mission is, right. And there's a letter waiting for them, and it's basically your mission is to survive.
Right. Well, even before that, they're at a lake. So the dragons can drink some water.
Oh, we missed a really important part.
Oh, we did.
Yeah. So let's rewind it. We're going all over the place because this part is great. So what did we miss?
Andarna.
Oh yeah.
Oh gosh,
I even forgot that.
Oh, that's not what you were talking about?
Andarna's SMI2.
She's SMI2. She gets a little harness.
They were like, "Oh, we need Andarna." Andarna's like, "I'm coming too."
She hooks into her little thing, hooks onto Taryn so she can fly, but also she doesn't have to go the whole distance. It's incredible.
In my head, she's hooked onto him, flapping her wings, like she's doing something, but she's not.
And then she falls asleep, and they talk about halfway through the flight she goes to sleep. And so
I'm just
picturing her like a puppy in a bag, like a
God.
front-facing backpack, and the dog's just asleep. That's what I picture.
So, I don't know if I've ever loved a character the way I love Andarna
me too.
in the book.
Okay, but even before we find out that we're confirmed that Dane is a bitch, a really actually big part happens where they're at I forget the name of the place. I actually don't know how to say this. It's
I have never retained a single location name in this book.
Yeah.
It's
Athabine?
Absinthe. They're at Absinthe, right?
There's no S in that word.
They're at Absinthe with the seagulls. And, Dane is... Not Dane. We hate him. Zaden is, kissing on Violet, and someone else appears. And it's a Griffin Rider. And a whole bunch of other Griffin Riders.
They're called flyers.
Not yet, they're not.
They are in this sentence that we're talking about.
So the Flyers with their Griffins come, and Violet is shook, right? She's like, oh my god, we're going to fight them, and everyone else seems cool, calm, and collected. And Violet's still like, what's going on? We got to get them, they're going to kill us. And Zaden basically dabs him up and is like, it's good to see you, fam. And they're like, what's good, bro? And Violet is like, the fuck? And we learn that Zaden has been working with the Griffin Riders, aka Flyers, and he tells Violet, like, you have to trust me, you have to trust me. And when I read it at this point, I was like, is Zaden bad? And he has become good throughout the story. Like, did he change his mind? That's what I thought. So what were your thoughts initially at this part? I'm just curious.
I was like, oh, Rick was right. The War College is bad.
Right.
Zaden's obviously on the right side of history, and some fucked up shit's about to happen.
I, again, having read this both times, really felt that I hated the setup of this scene. Because he's supposed to be the leader of this battalion, even though they're stopped for, like, a rest stop for the dragons for a hot second. And he, like, literally takes her behind a rock and is, like, all up on her. And it just felt like that's not actually what he would have done. As, again, the leader of this battalion, he wouldn't be, like, taking his girlfriend behind a rock.
That's fair.
And so
he's pretty serious about his war responsibilities.
Right.
Yeah, and then so Violet is now struggling with that Zaden has betrayed her.
And her dragons.
And the dragons betrayed her too.
They knew too. Yeah.
They knew too. So she's really, really struggling with this. And it's a bad time for her to be struggling with this because this is where they find out that Dane bitched them out and betrayed them because he was a jealous little bitch. And he had read and most likely has been reading Violet's memories forever.
Right, because Zaden's like, did he ever touch your face like this? And she's like, that's always how he touches my face.
Right.
Which sucks.
Yeah, it's really gross. And yeah, so Dane had told his dad, who's also like a commander.
Yeah, he's like the number 2 to Violet's mom's number 1.
And that's when the realization comes in that they've been set up, and they look over and we see what I call way obvious writing on the wall. We see the venom down below. And I really liked how the venom were written because they were like, there's 4 venom down there. And I was like, oh, well, there's like 6 dragons with them. There's 6 riders. There's, they got these Griffin Flyers with the, they're gonna just kill them real quick. Not real quick. There'll be a little battle, but it won't be that bad. And they described it, and then one of the Flyers was like, this is really bad. Like 2 venom by themselves took out a whole city. And I was like, oh shit, these guys, like, this is bad. This is rough.
Violet's like, what about the wyvern? And they're all like, calm down, Violet. That's just a fairy tale.
Right.
But it's not.
Why? What happens now?
They show up too, and Terrence is like, this is an abomination. And
what's Terran like?
This is an abomination. I'm obsessed with Terran in these chapters. I just feel like his attitude, like, in battle is so good. Anyway, so Zaden gets a missive from
Dane's dad.
From Dane's dad that's basically like, you can either stay here and help the enemy, right? The Griffin Flyers fight the venom, or you can come back and, like, do the war games, basically. And Zaden's like, I'm going to do the right thing and not let these venom destroy this village and kill all these innocent civilians, but I'm not going to make any of you guys stay with me. And all of the marked children of the rebels are like, we're with you. You carry these scars on your back. We didn't talk about that in the last episode. Zaden has 102?
Two?
I thought
107, yeah.
107 scars on his back because he bargained for the lives of the children of the rebels. And so all the kids are like, you saved us. It's time for us. Like, we're going to do the right thing. And Violet also, in this moment, as foreshadowed by the letter from her dad, decides to do the right thing. And she's like, let's go fuck up some mythical creatures.
And there's a big battle. There's a big battle. And I think I was at this point. Soleil.
Soleil means sun in French.
Well, means dead in this book. So Soleil, who you said we had heard from before. To me, this was my first meeting with her.
I would Google her, but I don't want to get any spoilers.
Right. I'm like, she's like, and we're bringing Soleil with us too. And I'm like, that girl's gonna die.
Red shirt.
And she dies. She dies. The Venom kill her. But a big intense battle happens. Right. It's a really really cool scene. I enjoy this a lot.
Rick comes in yesterday, and I was like, oh, I'm in the middle of the battle, and Rick's like, I'm in the middle of the battle too, and I'm really worried that Liam's gonna die. And at this point, I realized I was more into the battle than Rick was because I already knew that Liam died. I had predicted a week prior, but
to be fair, I was on the page where he was dying. Like he had just been stabbed, and I forgot.
They kill his dragon, and he dies because the dragon dies. It's so sad, and Zaden's so sad, and Violet's so sad, and Liam is like, stay with him and like trust him, and it's so sad.
This is like an S tier death. Like this was phenomenal. The way she wrote this.
You love when people die.
I do. It makes me sad.
Rick's a folklore girly.
Yeah. I knew it was going to happen, and I just didn't want it to happen. Kim doesn't care.
No, I totally cared. I mean, I knew it was coming since I had read the book before. But I agree. I mean, the fact that like they carry him over to the dragon so that he can like be with him for the last couple of minutes of his life.
So
and
sad.
And he was our little like golden retriever boy. So everybody loved him, and he's gone.
He was a good friend to her, and I wanted him and Rhiannon to hook up.
And even in his death, though, he like separates a message out to both Violet and Zaden. He tells basically, I think I read this correctly, he tells like each of them half of the message, because if Zaden knew it, I think if Zaden knew it in full, he wouldn't let Violet do it or something like that, right? So when Zaden delivers the other half of the message to Violet, she knows exactly what to do.
Oh, and that message is about how if it's the venom and the wyvern, it's the opposite of the dragons and their riders. So if the venom dies, the wyvern that they created die, versus with dragons and riders, if the dragon dies, the rider dies. So that's how they learn that they need to kill the venom, and that will help them kill the wyvern, and so they do that.
So then they're fighting, right, and they start picking out the venom one by one, right, and there's a really intense moment where Violet finds, I guess, one of the leaders, and she's trying to hit him with lightning and missing, and she's about to die. Oh, but this is also when she gets stabbed. She, one jumps on Torn, and she gets stabbed, but she keeps going, and she realizes it's poison. She's feeling like her body heating up in pain, but she then finds the other venom, and tries to hit him with lightning. Is like one shot away from death because it's draining her. Our queen Andarna stops time, and she's manipulating the lightning and gets him. Zaden kills the other one, and they win. They win in a crazy ass awesome fight. And then, so I at this time didn't realize how bad the poison was. But it's really bad. It's like a deathly poison, and she's like in and out of consciousness, not knowing what's really going on. Zaden is saying we have to go see him. Sorry, we have to go see him to save her. And at that moment, I knew who it was.
Me too, but I had predicted it earlier, and I said it out loud to Tristan when I was reading that last night. I was like, "It's her brother." And Tristan was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then like 20 minutes later, I was like, I knew it. And he was like, I still don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, so Zaden takes her to Aratia.
Aratia is how I read it.
Takes her to his hometown to recover and to get treated.
And she's like, where are we? This isn't real.
And she's like surprised that it's safe, and they kiss, but then she remembers everything and realizes that they shouldn't have kissed. And I don't know. I mean, we do also get to see this.
Uh-oh.
It's time
For Caitlin's
corner.
Clifford's corner.
Sorry.
Hello, everybody.
So, Caitlin, we're at the end of the book. We finished the book.
We're talking about the last.
We're packing the last chapter, and we find out that Brennan, her brother, who we thought was dead the entire book, saves her and is alive. How did you feel finding out that he was actually alive this whole time?
The brother?
Yeah.
I just, it's a huge plot twist. And just based on the way the rest of the story unfolded, I was shocked that I could be surprised in that way.
It was a very shocking moment. And then it ends with him saying, welcome to the rebellion.
Well,
Revolution.
Welcome to the revolution.
Yeah, it's actually, the revolution.
The revolution.
The revolution.
Because Brennan is a big fan of Prince.
Okay.
But it also, I will say, this is where she makes the right choice. And would she have been able to do this as a scribe? Because they're like, are you joining us? And she says, yes.
This chapter is also told from Zaden's perspective. Caitlin, how did you feel about the chapter being from Zaden's perspective instead of from Violet's, like the rest of the book?
Right. So I feel like I was so inside Violet's head for most of the story that I needed a tiny bit of perspective to kind of fully understand kind of where she was as she was sort of going through these trials and tribulations associated with the upcoming revolution.
She was poisoned.
Well, also did she die? She was poisoned, so we needed to be able to hear the rest of the story while she was poisoned.
I actually agree with Caitlin there, because
Caitlin's nailing it today.
she really is. In the other book, you read that one, A Court of Covers, and at the end, the very last chapter, when
Quart of ice cream.
the Court of Ice
He
Cream,
doesn't remember the names of the books, so he does a Court of the red cover,
A Court of the green cover, A Court of the
Okay. Oh, yes.
That's how I do it. So at the Court of the at the end of the Court of the green cover,
Second one.
we get Rhysand's perspective in the very last chapter.
Right.
Which I hated, because I was like, no, I don't want to hear
Yeah.
from you. But in this one, she's poisoned,
Yeah.
so she can't have a perspective. And I like that. There's our bell. I like that. I thought that was kind of cool.
I liked that as well. Zaden also admits that he loves her, but he won't say it out loud to her because he doesn't want her to think that he's only saying it because she was poisoned. Yeah,
Right.
and because he wants her to join the revolution
With Prince.
with Prince and her brother Brennan. Oh my God. Hi.
I really didn't Violet had talked
We're recording
so
a
much
podcast.
about how much she loved Zaden and was into him.
Yeah.
And then I don't think the betrayal was as big of a deal as she was making on. To me. Honestly. Like, there was a greater good that he was doing. I don't know. I think she overblew it a little bit.
I agree.
I already said that I hated the lovey-dovey back and forth shit in the earlier parts of these chapters. And so it's just repeating itself all over again. And I'm not here for it.
I think she's just like watching her worldview crumble and she's taking that out on him, but I don't actually think that his betrayal is that severe.
You want to know what... So, I don't think they're actually going to... They might go into this in the next book. None of that betrayal I don't think was severe. What about him not telling her about her brother being alive?
Yeah, that's real.
That's way bigger than anything he's done so far.
I agree. But also, for the sake of the revolution, he couldn't have told her. And he says no more secrets, so it remains to be seen. No more secrets. We got to wrap this
We're
up.
going to wrap it up right now. So overall, Shamanda...
We got to rate it stars and soups. I'm going to rate it 5 stars. I loved this book. I'm really excited to read more. I really enjoyed all the twists, and I really like the dragons. a lot.
Especially Andarna.
And Darna for president.
Kimberly?
I'm also going to give it 5 stars. I think it's a great book, and I'm excited to see where book 3 eventually takes us. It's the one I haven't read yet. And are we doing soup cans also?
We sure are.
yeah.
I would like to give it a review, though.
You like, okay, you do your
All right,
review,
last
then
time
I'll
we
do
did
soup
stars
cans.
and soups, but we can just do
I
stars.
haven't given it stars.
All right, fine.
Stars, go.
I'm going to be the dissenter here.
No, you're not.
I'm giving it 5 stars.
It was like, I saw your Goodreads.
This book was fantastic, and I loved every page, except the middle part a little bit.
Caitlin, how many stars?
You know what? I think we've reached consensus, and it's a 5-star novel.
Now we're going to talk about soup cans. I'm going to go ahead. Are we giving it cans of soup?
Cans of soup.
I'm giving this book 5 cans of soup.
I think I agree, man. The soup in this book is so good.
Oh my god.
Okay, but there was only like 2...
Soup's on, Caitlin.
There was only 2 soup scenes.
But I actually...
The soup scenes were so good.
I was going
And-
to give it 3.5 because of the soup scenes.
I think-
Because I want more soup scenes.
I actually, like, I think it's the right amount of soup. I think it's the right amount of soup. Because in... Oh my god, Rick is explaining soup to Caitlin. I think maybe we can settle on 4.
4, yep. We'll
So
see where the
this-
next book goes.
This
so,
book
4.
is 5 stars and 4 cans of soup.
Okay, sorry for the background noises. We're having a side conversation here on our podcast. So yes, repeat. 5
5
stars.
stars, 4 cans of soup.
No.
4.5?
I will not settle for anything less than 4.5 cans of soup.
All right, 4.5 cans of soup.
We added water to the last can. All right? That's what we did.
Fine. Okay.
What's our homework? You have a meeting.
Okay, so we are about to go on spring break, so we're going to do a post-spring break special. We are going to read the book The Night Circus, which is by
An author.
something Morgenstern. I don't know.
Rebecca
gonna read-
Romaine Stamos.
Yep, by Rebecca Romaine Stamos. And we're going to read that whole book before our next podcast when we will dive into that entire book. And then we'll move on into
Iron Wing.
Fifth Wing.
Iron Wing.
Iron Wing.
It's actually called Iron Flame,
called
nerd.
Iron Flame. Oh, whatever.
Second
Whatever.
Wing.
Thank you all for joining us on this book read. And take care.
Bye.
Bye.